U.S. roads are inundated with hundreds of thousands of commercial drivers who don't speak English, can't read road signs, don't sleep, and undercut U.S. driver wages by some 70%.
Chesley Major. Chesley Major.
Chesley Major. Chesley Major.
Chesley Major. Chesley Major.
Your immigration bus caught dozens of illegal drivers, and some of them with questionable licenses.
That's a conclusion by the feds, came after this Florida crash in August, prompted a deep dive into actually who's driving America's 18-wheelers. According to Secretary Sean Duffy, sanctuary states like California, New York, and some red states are giving Biden-era asylum seekers commercial licenses.
The process for issuing these licenses is absolutely 100% broken. It has become a threat to public safety, and it is a national emergency.
Duffy highlighted crashes across the country like this 17-car pileup in Texas in March, 5 dead, including an infant. The driver, an asylum seeker from Eritrea who spoke Ethiopian, now indicted for manslaughter. And in New Mexico, this big rig makes no attempt to stop, killing one, injuring another. The driver, according to court records, only spoke Mandarin.
Our highways are full of what we believe to be hundreds of thousands of improperly licensed commercial truck drivers, a lot of them being illegal immigrants.
Last Friday, Duffy ordered states to stop issuing CDLs to any non-U.S. citizen or lawful resident. He estimates 190,000 non-domiciled truck drivers should lose their license. An audit found California issued 25% of its CDLs illegally to immigrants. Now, in Oklahoma, a highway checkpoint found 20% of truck drivers were illegal immigrants. Some licenses had no first or middle name.
The vast majority of those people had crossed the southern border into the United States between 2020 and 2024. And all of them had crossed on the southern border.
So states began issuing non-domiciled CDLs in 2021 when President Biden addressed a dispute over driver shortage. Duffy says any state that continues to issue those CDLs to foreigners will lose their highway money.
The Oklahoma Highway Patrol and ICE conducted a joint operation in recent days where you arrested more than 125 illegal aliens, and you came up with a number of commercial drivers who seemed to have licenses that were issued improperly or illegally to them in sanctuary states. You found that, I think, 20% of commercial driver's licenses that you examined were awarded to illegal aliens.
Yeah, you know, when my head of Highway Patrol called me and was we were talking about this operation, and to us it's pretty simple. We're just going to enforce the law, and until drive on roads in Oklahoma, you've got to be able to read and understand English, especially the people driving 18-wheelers. So when he told me that he pulled over 520 vehicles at one of our checkpoints as an operation, and over close to 25% of these drivers were illegally driving. They were from China, Russia, Venezuela. It is unbelievable. And these aren't people that are here legally with a legal CDL. They had overstayed their visa. They had illegally obtained this CDL, and they're just violating the intent of the law and the absolute law. The one person that we posted on from New York had literally been detained at the southern border, crossing illegal in 2023, and then was just released. It was a catch and release type deal, and they showed up in New York and got their CDL license, and you saw that. It's had no given name, and I'm not trying to call anybody out. I think the American people need to understand this is a problem.
We've got that license up, and let's put it back up on the screen again. As you pointed out, William Lajeunesse showed it in his fine reporting, and here it is again. How does somebody receive a commercial driver's license that says no name given?
Well, that's what's, if you'll read the New York Post today, Richard Barth, who worked and was part of the policy that created the Real ID, and it's very clear, you've got to give your full name. You need multiple, documents that show either a social security number, a passport, maybe a utility bill. So that's what's a head scratcher to us, but these are real problems, and I can give you other examples. I think the American people expect to be safe on the roads, and we expect our 18-wheelers to be driven by people that can understand and read English. And you gave an example of down in Texas, the public safety issue and the major car wreck that killed some people, and that's what we're trying to avoid. And we need to fix immigration altogether. We need to work on that. But we have to secure our border, and we have to make sure that people are here legally and they have a legal right to be here, and we know who they are and they've been properly vetted. And I think that's what the American people deserve and want. You know, that's the thing. I mean, I think during COVID, it kind of got out of control. And during the Biden administration, they opened these, what we're calling illegal CDLs up. And we're just now finding out about it. We're cracking down in states like Oklahoma, and Secretary Duffy's all over this issue. But it's also harming American companies in the trucking business, right? It's illegal labor. It's people that are here illegally. And we've got to crack down on it. As far as the number of accidents, 100%, there's problems if you can't read the signs, if you don't understand the driving, and you're not properly trained to get behind an 18-wheeler. That is a problem. There's a reason we have these kind of schools around to train CDL drivers, because those are big machines, and they can cause a lot of damage when you have people behind those machines that don't know what they're doing.
The orange man, Donald Trump, and his administration are cracking down on foreigners who attain CDLs in this country, and they're here illegally, can't speak English, can't read English, can't write English. Checkpoints are everywhere. The cops are out, state troopers, and it's up. Yeah, man. So they were basically giving away CDL license to undocumented immigrants, illegal undocumented aliens. How can you give someone a no-name license? Meanwhile, I have to have a real ID with the star on it. You understand? I have to have Social Security, college ID, everything, you name it. You understand what I'm saying? I have to have my shots from the doctor, all that. Meanwhile, you got people who are undocumented just slide through, able to get CDLs, skilled certificates so they can work and drive. They were just handing these CDLs out all willy-nilly. Now any state handing out these no-name, non-domicile CDLs will lose their highway money. But as you can see, a lot of accidents are happening and they're crashing on the road and wrecking out. So, from my understanding, yeah, it's going down. They're cracking down. You mean to tell me, that's crazy numbers right there. 520 people they pulled over, something like that. 130, 125 of them were dirty. They couldn't speak English. They couldn't even, adhere to the driving tests. They couldn't keep up with what was going on. It's just despicable. This is just out of hand. It needs to be shut down. It needs to be stopped ASAP. They're putting a halt to it. Ever since this Argenta Singh guy, the guy that crashed in Florida, killed 3 people on the highway. He tried to do the illegal U-turn. Ever since that guy tore his ass, it's up for everybody. All of the illegals. You had it good. Biden went ahead and they gave you CDL, free CDLs, and all these benefits that Americans were fighting to get and struggling to get. They went ahead and just gave it to the immigrants. Here, you get a CDL, and you get a CDL, and you get a CDL. Everybody get a CDL. Now all these car crashes are coming up, and people are getting their asses handed to them. Trump, he's come down with the hammer with his vampire Stephen Miller. It's not looking too good for the illegal immigrant truck drivers. Foreigners with CDLs, beware. They on the lookout. If you ain't 54 and got your stuff together, you might just get locked up, sent back to your country. But anyways, that's all I got, guys. Let me know what you think about the video. Leave a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. Click that like button. It makes a difference. And subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. See you on the next one. Peace. Chesley Major.